All right, hi there, everybody. In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit more specifically about the impact that other people have in terms of how they deal with their anxiety and how that influences and impacts us. And so, really, this is going to be kind of a different spin on how we go through the loss of the ways we can control, predict, anticipate how people are acting and behaving because of how they're dealing with their anxieties. And so, just within the last 24 hours, I've had conversations with different people and how this has kind of impacted them. I've got friends who are in sales or in real estate and things like that. And just because of how the market is right now, they're losing out on transactions. Things are falling through because of how people are dealing with their anxiety. There are ways that people are dealing with their anxiety by going and hoarding supplies from the grocery store, and that's impacting people as well. And so these aren't really direct impacts; they're like more like secondhand impacts of how people are dealing with their anxiety. Even just in daily interactions, you might be able to observe that people are just a little bit more on edge, and the interactions that you have with people at the grocery store, for example, or on the road, that there might be shorter fuses. That could be happening at home. You might be able to observe that your spouse, your kids, while you might not necessarily be feeling the impact and the anxiety yourself, how they are responding to things and how they're behaving, how they're reacting to you might be a way it's impacting you a little bit more indirectly because of how people are talking to you or treating you. And in fact, I'll say this as well. I've been seeing some reports coming out about how just people in the community are treating Asian Americans. And being Asian American myself, that is one of the anxieties I have in the back of my mind as well, just in terms of how people are dealing with their frustration, their anxieties, and how that might come out in maybe some more racially charged ways. And so these are all things that are just realities for us right now. And so I wanted to make a video specifically for just how we kind of talk through and deal with that, and observing that that is a thing and something that we will all have to kind of encounter in some way, in some fashion. And so if you kind of think about it this way, it's very similar when we observe it from that lens, that really this comes down to not being able to predict how people are going to act. Normally we have a kind of an understanding of this is the way our interactions look like. We have a certain range of normal of what we expect interactions to look like and to be like. But because of COVID-19, that's all kind of been shifted. And so we don't know what to expect any longer and how to predict really well the way other people are going to act and what they're going to do. And so, yes, your business might be suffering. People might not be following through on certain deals and transactions. People might not be behaving necessarily in the most responsible way, or might be overreacting in certain ways. And so there's a lot of shift right now that's going on in our community because because of COVID-19. And so just being able to observe that that's a part of our reality, and to observe that as loss, that you don't have necessarily the control mechanisms and the ability to plan and predict anymore along those ways. And because of that, it kind of goes back into the fold of, okay, how does that impact maybe other areas of loss? Does it impact us in terms of loss of financial stability? Impact us in terms of loss of control to protect and to provide and to prevent suffering for our loved ones? Does it impact our connections and so forth? It kind of goes back into the fold and the stream of a lot of the other things that we've talked about as well. But I just wanted to be able to tag that as another way to look at that, because it's not necessarily a direct impact, but more so how other people are responding and how that impacts you. The thing to do here is just to be able to understand that that's a way to see the experience that you're going through, to validate it, and then to go back and work through the same process of, okay, how does that connect with more of a direct area of loss that I might be feeling? So anyways, I hope that makes sense, and I hope that provides a little bit more context and validation for maybe some of the things that you're experiencing. Again, that might be for a lot of people out there who might not necessarily be feeling the anxiety themselves, but they can observe how other people are feeling, and because of how they're feeling, it is indirectly impacting you. That's the point of this video, and hope that helps. Thanks for watching. I hope you tune into the next video. Thanks.